In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways how you can monitor your data pipelines with hands-on examples of how to monitor pipeline runs, how to observe tasks, how to track data sets, how to monitor custom metrics, and how to implement alerting. So let's get into it. Alright, to keep this simple, I decided to create a Python ETL example for this video that is just an extract, transform, and load job where the data is in an API in the cloud. That's New York City open data. And this Python script that I created takes that data, does a little bit of transformation, and then loads it just on my computer on the disk as a CSV file. So very straightforward. If you want to look at this yourself, I have in the description the link to the GitHub with all the source codes, and also you can find the jump marks below for everything in this video. So how do we monitor this? We're going to monitor this with Databand, which is also the sponsor of this video. Now, what is Databand? Databand is a data observability platform. It's a cloud platform that is specifically built for observing your pipelines. Databand is the cloud platform, right? That has all the data, that also has the UI for you to explore. And with our Python script, they have a Python library called dbnd. So what you do is you do a pip install on your machine here for this example, and then configure dbnd in your code. And from there on, dbnd is going to send the data from your local machine up into the cloud so you can then monitor the data and the pipelines. Of course, this is just a simple Python example, right? You can integrate Databand with a lot of other tools like Spark, Airflow, dbt, BigQuery, Snowflake, and so on and so on. I specifically chose for this simple example because if this works there, then it's going to work anywhere. So let's start with the simplest one. Let's start with monitoring pipeline runs. The things that you want to monitor there is, did my pipeline run? When did it run? Did I have any failures in there? And how long did it take? So basically the duration. How you can do that with Databand is you just go in your code and you add this piece to your code here with dbnd tracking. And then that's the configuration here. That's your platform link. That's your access token. And then here you're configuring your job name and the run name and the project. After that, what you're doing is you use your extract, transform, and your load, and then that's already the complete tracking for it. Now, how this looks in Databand is this. You have your pipelines, and in your pipelines, you see your runs. You can see progress. This is green. You can also click on it. On the left here, we don't have a lot because we don't track a lot in this, but we can see here on the right, this is our tracking, and this is our ETL run that has just run for 1.6 seconds. And once something goes wrong, you can see this then here on the right where this would be red then. Now let's go the next step. Until now, we have monitored just our whole pipeline. Now let's look into individual tasks. When we look at our Python code, we have extract, transform, and load, right? Extract, we extract the data from the API. Transform, we transform it a bit, and then load, we load it into the CSV file. Now in this, we want to track each individual step in here. The extract step, the transform step, and the load step. Same thing for progress, for duration, and so on. With Databand, this is also very easy. And if you already know Airflow, this will be very familiar to you. Because what you have in Databand are decorators. Just like within Airflow, where you say here, add task before your extract function, or task before your transform function. And this way, this is going to observe that piece of the pipeline as well, and you can see the results on Databand. So let's just go in here and let's quickly start this. It's done. I had a few prints in there to make it easy for you to see what's going on. Now let's jump into Databand. What we do in Databand is just we go into pipelines, select our pipeline, and then we see the runs. And so this is, for instance, the run that we just had. Now you can see the individual tasks that I have run in there. So extract took 1.1 seconds, transform took 0.4, and load took 0.1. And if you click on one of these, and for instance here, go to code, you can also then see the code that has just happened here, if you track the source codes. Now again, we're not tracking here more. We just track how long did it take, was it a success, that's it. The guys from Databand actually created an example for me here, also pipelines that are running currently, and they're simulating this. So this is, for instance, one of their pipelines that run, and now this one has created a failure, and this is how it looks. So you have you see the tree, and then you see where did the actual error occur in here, right? DBT load sensor, that was the error here. You can also look at error logs and try to find out what has failed. By the way, if you want to have an overview, you just can go on the dashboard, and then you see all the total runs and the success and the failures for every run of pipelines here. Okay, so that was for observing tasks. Now let's look at the next one. Let's look a bit more into the data. Okay, so until now it was still basic tracking. We tracked the pipeline itself, then we tracked the individual stages of the pipeline, extract, transform, and load. Now let's look at the next one. Let's look at tracking the data sets and getting more insights about the data that is actually flowing through our pipeline. Things you want to look for in the monitoring here is the data quality. You want to find out where are errors, maybe for bug fixing. You want to figure out, okay, are my column values that I get in the range that they usually have? Or you want to find out, are there suddenly null values? You also want to find out, are there schema changes in my pipeline that might be problematic? So let's look at this. How we set this up is very simple. It's just this part of code here where we say with OP logger, and here we configure our internal dataset name, and is this a read or a write dataset? And I activate it here with preview true. This way, this is sending us actually data into Databand, so we can preview data there. Once we have that data set, we just say here below on the bottom logger.set, and then add here as the data our result that we extracted from the API. We do this for the read, and we do the exact same thing for the write, just we add here, instead of read, the write value. In Databand, we can just go in and let's just select one of these here. And again, this is just what we were talking before, but now we can go in here in data interactions. And with data interactions, now this is what we've logged. We can now see the timeline of how the data behaved, total reads, total writes. This is what actually comes out of our code. This way you can see trends, how the data is behaving. Now, on the bottom here, we have something where we can also see our schema and some records, right? So let's click on schema here, and then we see here on the left, we see all our columns that we have. And then you can just go in there and you can select one of these, and you see also the historic numbers, and you can see here null counts, you can see distinct counts, and so on. Now, you can also go in here and you can click on the records, and then this will preview the records that are in there. So as you can see here, unique ID, date, time, the agency, and inquiry names here, and resolutions, brief descriptions, and call resolution. Now this is how easy this works and how cool this is if you have this information, right? You can very quickly see how does my data behave and what's happening. You can also go in here in metrics, and you see the metrics here, how the data looks. You can see here for our data set that we were writing, this has, and this is shape, so this has 9 columns, right? And for the same thing, this has 18 rows, and so on. You can also look at the schema again. Very, very helpful. So with that, we can get more into what is actually happening within our pipeline with the data. and not just observing how the pipeline behaves from the outside. Super cool. But one thing is still missing. Let's say you want to add something specific there or log something specific. Tracking whole datasets is not always what you want. Very often what you need is tracking of individual metrics. Metrics that you create based on the data that is arriving or based on the data that is getting processed. Aggregate values, average values, and so on and so on. And this is also what you can do with Databand. Creating a custom metric is super simple. I here created just a random value between 0 and 9, and then added here this line, log metric. I gave it a name, my random metric, and then just here the value. And that's it. This way, this will get written and logged by Databand, and you can actually watch it in the UI. So what I have done for you here, I did a few runs of this, and then we go here to metrics and scroll down here, and we call this my random metric. Here it is. And then you just go here, show chart, scroll down, and then you can see the chart with the time and the run status, and you see the history of how this behaved. You can look at this as bar or as lines. And you can also see here a trends table as well. Super simple and very, very helpful custom metrics. Absolutely worth looking at. All right, for these 4 ways of monitoring pipelines, you always have to go in and you have to figure out in the UI what's going wrong and where is it going wrong and so on. Now, alerting is something that is very, very important. And that's what we're going to look here in number 5. Well-defined alerts can save you so much time. So let's create an alert for our custom metric that we've just created. All right, we're back here in the metrics tab. Here's my random metric, and we can here now click create an alert definition. And then we say, okay, this is our metric, and we have a few operators here. We have greater than or equal. We have greater than, less than or equal. The typical comparisons, equals, does not equal, or also percentage deviation, right? We know our baseline value is around 5, and let's have this as a few percent deviation, right? So that's then going to create as an alarm. Or there's the anomaly feature here. This hasn't worked for me. I tried this here. I'm not sure, most likely I'm messing something up here, but this also works that you can then say, okay, look back 10 runs. Most likely I haven't run enough here. And then you say, okay, here's my sensitivity. And then it's going to show you here in red once the alert has been created or is coming up. So let's just go here. Let's just say greater than, and let's enter as the value 10. We know our random is just between 0 and 9. And then say here next. We select our alert severity, custom alarm, then save alert. And it allows you here now to select receivers, where to route it to. We don't have any receivers in this configured, but this also allows you to add collaborators. And this way you say, okay, here, that's me, that's my user that's going to get the alarm. So done. And then you see here in alerts defined, you see our definition. Now let's create a quick alert. What we do is just go to the code here and let's create this here from 10 to 20, a random. All right, that's it. So let's look at Databand alerts. Here's our alert. And now we can say here few details, and we can see here, this was a run where the error was, and so on. And we can jump directly into this run. Pretty cool, right? By the way, these are not the only alerts that you can set here. You can set here a lot of other alerts, so just go into our alert section. We can set pipeline state alerts. So when the pipeline fails, this runs. We can also set pipeline duration alerts. So if the pipeline takes too long, you get an alert. Stuff with DBT, you can also create schema change alerts. Right? When you lock the data sets, you can also set this up for task states, task durations, individual tasks, and then stuff for datasets like missing data or table data qualities and so on. Yeah, these alerts are the typical alerts that you want to see. All right, so we went through the 5 main ways of monitoring data pipelines. You are going to see these in the real world all the time, and you want to deploy this way. Databand was a very nice tool to use. I always like the cloud aspect, that you don't have to do that much of a setup. The deployment with a Python script was also super simple. Again, you can also go with Spark and other tools and implement it with them. Great solution. If you want to find out more about Databand, I have the link to them in the description below. And then see you in the next video. Bye.